well written. There's many parts to it, so what I'm going to do is pinpoint specific parts, because if I read this entire question, there's no way that you would remember all of it. We'll start out with how do we prepare us for projected military drawdown? How do you prepare us for projected military drawdown? And we'll start with Ms. Mims Owens on this one.
Okay, the way I would do that is I would look at the overall conditions of the city of Killeen, find out where the weak points are and where the strong points are. And then I would come up with the formula to devise as to what we can do if the military dropped 50%. That's in with housing, water, sewage, and everything that it costs to run a city. And come up with a workable solution as to what can we do if we lose these troops. Because we're going to have more jobs if the troops are lost. We're going to have some kind of avenue to fall back on that would help us to go into the future. We have to plan ahead. We have to have that, as they would say, an ace in the hole. What would I do if this would happen? And so that's what I would do. I would have a plan in action to find out how we could do this, and that's with jobs and better quality of life to help if the military is taken out at 50% rate.
Okay, Mr. Rivera.
Well, first of all, we went through this already in the 1992, 93 time frame, when the military grew down. Let me tell you what happened when the military takes off. Most of the family takes off too. They don't stay around. They move out. And the problem with that I'm saying is, we talk about jobs. If you notice, most people who are stabilized in Killeen, we didn't suffer that much when the time withdrawal. We did have a lot of vacancy home, that's for sure we did. But when start withdrawing troops out of here, ladies and gentlemen, if that happened, then we take action. Saying right now that we're going to have a plan, it's not going to happen. Because that's what we've got a master plan for in the city, to work it out. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Doyle.
I think the biggest thing we need to do is to continue to try to get a BRAC to happen in the near future. I think that's very important. We have a bunch of inefficiencies. Again, I've worked 31 years in the federal government, a bunch of inefficiencies at other installations. Fort Hood is not going anywhere soon. Fort Hood is going to probably grow in the near future, against some of the other initiatives at the north part of town. And in order for us to go through a BRAC and any of these positive growths, we need to have positive, sustainable growth. We need to have safe communities. We need to have industry here. All those, there's all kinds of things that the BRAC committee, they look at, the grades of community. I think Killeen will fare well, Fort Hood. I think Fort Hood will fare well on a BRAC. And I think we need to continue to get our public servants, like our mayors and stuff like that, to go to DC and to lobby on that behalf.
Okay, Mr. O'Krant.
The first thing we would do to prepare for projected military drawdown, first try to run an analysis, which would be to take and say from the 100% that's currently there, what would the economic impact be if the base were to draw down 20, 30, 50%? Do analysis like that. We also have the Economic Development Committee, EDC, and also the Heart of Texas Defense Association, HOTDA, which we can use these entities that are already here, who we have a working relationship with, to help us in that process. And we have 3 entities here, or industries here: military, school, and medical. I agree with Mr. Dahl that we do need to bring more industry in here. We need to fix some whatchamacallits and widgets and thingamajigs. That we need to make some stuff.
Okay, Ms. Blackstone.
Thank you. This is certainly something that is of interest to most people. I'm not as afraid as many people are about this because I do think, as has been said, Fort Hood has a strong base, and I think if a BRAC occurs or a downsizing, we won't fare that badly. We may even prosper, who knows. But what I can tell you is our community is much more diverse than it was in the past, and we're better able at this point to handle that. The new A&M Central Texas, our community college, Central Texas College, which is good. All of the different new things that have come to our city. If you go over to the industrial park and see a couple of the new industries, downtown is certainly growing, and it's not just military. We have a new call center that's fixing to come open down there. There are a whole lot of things that make Killeen in better shape than it was at sometimes in the past as far as handling a drawdown in the troops of the military. I don't know what's coming in the future, none of us can predict, but we are looking forward to that. We are planning ahead, and I think we're in good shape as far as that goes.
Mr. Constable.
Thank you. I think the answer's already been said at one point tonight, and that is that we need a BRAC. We need to support our city, our regional, and our state leadership in calling for a BRAC. That's not something that probably every military community in the country wants to hear, but it's something that I think that will be ultimately a net gain for us. We're a very resilient community, and I think that given what the Department of Defense has already said they want to cut in terms of projections, I share Ms. Blackstone's goodwill and good feelings, and that a troop drawdown is not going to be something that has the kind of effect on Fort Hood that it will have on some others. Again, it goes back to the economic diversity and the promotion of that diversity that we talked about. Things like using a brand new university to incubate defense and bioscience research, stuff like that. Thank you, folks.
Okay,